Mayweather versus Cotto. We about a month away, and this is my prediction. This video is not biased whatsoever. Mayweather's supposed to win. Okay, we already know Mayweather can find a way to win. He can adapt to everything. He's proven that over and over and over again. So I'm not going to talk much about what Mayweather has to do to win because we already know he's supposed to win. And we know he can win. But the question is he going to win? Is this going to be number 43 for him? Cotto's got a long ladder to climb here, obviously. Mayweather's got a damn shorter ladder than Cotto has to climb. Because Mayweather, first of all, starting off physically, he has a 72-inch reach. Cotto only has a 67-inch reach. Mayweather's 5'8", Cotto's 5'7", so he's got the inch height advantage. But the main concern is the reach. Mayweather's got the speed advantage. Now, the last person Floyd Mayweather fought, or actually the last two people Floyd Mayweather fought, is Shane Mosley and Victor Ortiz. I thought in those fights, stylistically, the way he fought, he seemed the most beatable than he's ever seen in his whole career. This toe-to-toe fighting style that Mayweather has now, where he's not being so defensive and he's actually the one that's coming forward pushing the action, I feel that this style is the most beatable I've ever seen Floyd. Now, I'm not saying Floyd's easy to beat or nothing like that. Listen to what I'm saying. I'm saying the style that he's fought his last two fights in, he seemed, because being in there and looking on the outside is two different things, but looking at it from the outside, because I'm not in there with him, he seemed the most beatable in his last two fights. Now, obviously, he won both of them, and he won both of them, dominating both opponents. Of course, Ortiz got knocked out, and Shane just got neutralized. But more so against Ortiz, I want to point out, I don't know if anybody has seen this, but I thought it was clear as day to see. Mayweather's legs, I noticed it in the Mosley fight, have slowed down. In the Ortiz fight, I noticed it even more to a greater depth. His legs are definitely aging. That's the one thing on him that's aging. His legs, I would say, if it's any physical advantage that Cotto has, I think Cotto's legs, although the amount of wars Cotto's been in, I think Cotto still has the stronger legs than Mayweather, especially at 154. I think Cotto's legs, that's the one advantage Cotto will have. That's just my opinion. I felt Mayweather's foot speed is just not what it used to be. It's just not. And even when Shane hit him, the fight before Ortiz, when Shane hit him with the straight right, his legs just look so weak. Don't get me wrong. Mayweather has a chin. I believe he has a chin, and the thing is, Mayweather can be hurt, but it's momentarily. When you hurt this guy and he smiles at you, you better jump on him, because within a matter of seconds, he'll catch it quick. His conditioning is super. It's fantastic. Mayweather's conditioning is great. He eats, sleeps, breathes boxing. He may only fight in the ring once a year, but best believe he's sparring damn near the whole year. He's sparring and he's staying in shape and he's running. This guy is the definition of boxing. I'm talking about his work ethic. I ain't talking about the way he fights. I'm just talking about his work. His work ethic pays respects to the sport in every single category. And for the fact that he's performing on fight nights at the level he is and winning regardless of what fashion he does it in, you gotta give the man his respect, like him or hate him. And I do give him his respect. I'm not a fan of him, but I give him his respect. Like I said, man, Mayweather's the guy that's supposed to win. So I'm going to talk about what Cotto has to do to win. And like I said before, Mayweather's legs are aging. His legs have slowed down tremendously. That definitely plays a favor in the Cotto's part, because this guy has the reach on him. Now, Miguel Cotto, the fight that I go back to compare Mayweather versus Cotto, and I'm not saying Shane Mosley is Mayweather, but Cotto did face Shane Mosley. Now, keep in mind that Shane Mosley has a 74-inch reach, so his reach is even longer than Mayweather's by 2 inches. Shane Mosley's taller than Mayweather by an inch. He's 5'9". So Cotto has faced a man bigger than Mayweather, and he has had success. Now, I want to say right off the bat, I felt Shane Mosley won that fight by a point. But it was a close fight. You can't argue the decision. I didn't think it should have been unanimous. I think it should have been a split. I believe Cotto won by unanimous decision. But that's besides the point anyway now. That's history. That's in the past. But I'm just saying it was a close competitive fight. Now, 5 years ago that fight took place, Shane Mosley was still he was out of his prime, but he damn sure, Shane Mosley's got hand speed. He's got the reach. That's what I'm saying. He's a black American fighter. He's slick. He's the only guy I can use to really compare. Of course, Cotto back then had not taken a loss yet. That's in the back of my mind too. You could say Cotto was still in his prime, but what I'm saying is that's the only guy I can compare on Cotto's resume, the closest thing to Floyd. I know they're two different fighters. I know Mayweather obviously is better than Shane Mosley. He's more responsible defensively, whereas Mosley's willing to take a hit to give a hit, and he's just, in his younger days especially, was just all about reflexes. I understand that, but what I'm saying is the closest comparison I can make out of all the guys on Cotto's resume is Shane Mosley. And saying that everybody's talking about Mayweather's got the reach, Mayweather's got the reach. Man, Cotto was able to hit Shane Mosley, okay? Easily. He caught him with the left hook a couple times. He went to the body too, but Shane Mosley's tough, of course, and he's got that chin, and he didn't hurt Mosley. Mosley's will was not broken, not in that fight. That's the thing. Mayweather was the first guy, I think, to break Mosley's will. If not, then Pacquiao definitely damn sure was. But Cotto, to beat Floyd Mayweather, he's going to have to beat this guy from the inside out. That's the only way I can see him doing this. You can't beat this guy from the outside. You can't. Because Mayweather's got the speed and he's going to beat him to the jab. Now, what offsets speed is timing. Everything ain't all about speed. And that's another thing that Mayweather has too, is precise timing. Because it ain't all speed. You can have all the speed in the world. If you ain't got the right timing, then your speed is useless. Just like you can have all the power in the world, but if you ain't got the right technique, your power is useless. Now, I would say try to offset his jab by when he throws a jab, you throw a jab. You time him and you do it simultaneously at the same time. But the problem with this is Mayweather's slick. Mayweather don't always fire his jab with his hands up. Sometimes Mayweather's got his jab hand to his side or near his ribcage, and he'll fire it from there, and he can get away with it. Because, like I said, he's slick and he's got the speed with the perfect timing. Mayweather won't even always throw, all punches come off your jab. They're supposed to, but Mayweather can get away with a lot of stuff because he's an athletic freak. Tremendously gifted. He'll throw a lot of straight lead hand rights. Normally, you would tell a fighter, if you was training a fighter, from the ground up, everything comes off your jab. You want to throw a jab or then a right hand, or a double jab, then a right hand. You want to use your jab as your range fighter to set. Basically, everything comes off the jab. Basic fundamentals. But Mayweather can get away with just throwing straight lead right hands because he's quick, he's precise, and he's got great timing to go along with his speed. His coordination is perfect. He knows when to do it. One thing that Mayweather did in the Ortiz fight a lot of, and I felt, he was trying to be more offensive and please the crowd. He had received criticism in the past for, giving dope fights to the crowd. So I felt he went out there with Ortiz and he tried to be more offensive. One thing I think that Mayweather was doing, though, in trying to please the crowd more and be more offensive early in the fight was, I felt it was a couple right hands that he threw that was kind of sloppy. And if you're Miguel Cotto, who is, Ortiz is no slouch, and I still will give credit to Ortiz in that fight. I felt he did good, and he grabbed a couple of those rounds, at least one of those rounds. But, I know a majority of people will beg to differ with me. That's okay. That's okay to be different in an opinion. But I felt that Ortiz ain't no slouch, but obviously Miguel Cotto is more a technical fighter. If Mayweather stands toe-to-toe like he says he's going to do, and I believe him because he's done it the last two fights, if he's going to stand toe-to-toe with Miguel Cotto, it's going to work to Cotto's advantage. Because if Floyd tried to stay to the outside all fight like he did Marquez, Cotto will get beat easily. But if he stands toe-to-toe, he's basically making the fight easier for Cotto. Just a little bit easier, because it ain't going to be an easy fight regardless. But he's making it, he's taking something a little bit, one less thing to worry about this guy running around like that. If he stands toe-to-toe and he's going to throw them lead right hands and he's going to throw them sloppy like he did at times in the Ortiz fight, Cotto can slip that, go to the body, then go to the head. Now, Cotto's a great body puncher. Cotto, I don't think he is so much power like people say. I think he's more like Alvarez. He's one of them guys that's heavy-handed, meaning he doesn't have to use much force to generate power because he's just automatically heavy-handed. That's how I see Cotto, as being a heavy-handed fighter. Is he the most powerful thing at 154? Probably not, but he's still a heavy-handed puncher. And Floyd coming up from 147, although this is the second time, I do think Cotto has the power to hurt Floyd, just being naturally heavy-handed like that. Cotto has to get to the inside of Floyd and bang away at that body. If he throws that right hand, sloppy, like he might do early, because I know as the fight goes on, Floyd will get sharper with his punches. He has to take advantage of every counter that, man. Go to the body, go to the head. More the head might not be open, so double up to the body. And Cotto's a damn good body puncher, People are saying Cotto's flat-footed. Well, against Yuri Foreman and against Margarito, both guys are no Mayweather, but I'm just saying that he was on his toes in those fights. He was on his toes a lot. I mean, he had extra bounce in his step to the point where it seemed like he was using up too much energy that could tire him out, because Cotto's already known a fighter that, gasses out. At some points in the fight, he takes breaks, but he usually finishes strong. That's the thing I like about Cotto. He usually finishes strong, but somewhere throughout the fight, I'm going to say later rounds or maybe mid-rounds, usually Cotto appears to be tired and he backs up. But the thing is about Cotto, he can fight backing up. Now, Cotto is flat-footed, I noticed, when he throws combinations. That's when he really gets flat-footed, he's not really on his heels like that, pivoting. But again, against Margarito, man, this guy really, for the most part, a lot he was on his toes. But yeah, at times he does get flat-footed. And even when he's walking you down, sometimes he can square up on you, which is you definitely don't want to do with Floyd, is square up. And we know Cotto, like I said, the wars he's been in, is his cuts. I can imagine he's going to have cuts in this fight. I can imagine. Mayweather's just sharp of a puncher. He's going to get his counter punches in. That is just the inevitable. I mean, you can't. I think Cotto knows that he's going to bleed in this fight. I think he knows he's going to bleed in this fight. But that's nothing new to him. That's no new territory. He's used to it. He's going to have to eat a couple punches, but he's going to have to get to the inside of Mayweather the way Ortiz did. Ortiz did get to the inside of Mayweather. The problem with Ortiz is he wasn't first. He was waiting for Mayweather. He didn't have that extra aggressiveness like he has. And although that might be wild and reckless, I think that was his most powerful asset that he should have used more on Floyd. But Ortiz did good because he slipped some punches. People want to say, I seen Ortiz made Mayweather miss and get to the inside, and right before that headbutt even, Ortiz landed some good punches. But the difference with Cotto is Cotto will be more technical about it. He'll be more precise. I think, like I said, if Floyd throws that lead hand, right hand a lot, man, you got to slip that, go to the body. And Cotto, one thing he does good is I like how he holds his guard up high when he's getting to the inside, Get to the inside, bang away at that body, and slow Floyd down. Slow him down. This guy's legs is not there like that no more. His legs have slowed down tremendously. His speed is still there. His timing is still there. His IQ is 100% sharp. It's always been like that. He's got the experience. He knows how to remain calm, relax. He's smart. He counterpunches. His defense is still good. It's hard to break the Mayweather defense. Ortiz was hitting Mayweather, but he wasn't hitting him clean because Mayweather was rolling with the punches like he always does. It's hard to hit this guy clean. And you got to hurt him. I think you're going to have to hit him clean like Shane Mosley did. And when you hurt him, you're going to have to follow up. It's not an easy task facing Mayweather. This is a tall ladder that Cotto has to climb. Not to mention that Mayweather's going to beat him to the jab. And because Mayweather is unconventional, when he throws his jab a lot of the times, you're not going to know when the jab's coming. It's just speed with the perfect timing. And he's doing it at the right angles. So, Floyd is a hard task. Cotto is not a slow fighter. I would say his speed's actually above average. He's got decent hand speed, man. He really does. Floyd's the type of fighter that's so fast he can make Cotto look slow. But that's just what the eye is showing you. That's the eye test, He's making him appear slow, but he's not slow if you put him in with another fighter. You seen Cotto and Shane Mosley fight. I mean, they was going at it. That was a little war right there. Although, I think that fight, Cotto got cut late. But for the most part, Cotto managed to stay not getting cut in that fight for a while. I think it was at the end he got cut. But Shane was surprised even by Cotto's hand speed. Cotto's got speed, man. He's got speed. In the early rounds, don't be surprised if Cotto looks like the faster fighter. Because it takes Mayweather a while to start going. And if Mayweather decides to go early in this fight, I think a lot of his punches won't be crisp. It'll just be like the Ortiz fight. I think a lot of his punches will be them air punches. And that's when Cotto can counter.
And when he's countering, he should be thinking body first. You know what I mean? Because you want to take Mayweather's legs is already deteriorated. You want to take them legs away more. So all that he has now is his ability to adapt and his speed and timing to rely on. That's all you want. Take his legs away. Because when you take his legs away and wear him down, just keep banging at that body, keep chopping at the tree, and let's see what happens. Mayweather's got a chin, man, so I can't, this tree ain't going to be easy to fall. You're going to chop at this tree for a while. It ain't going to be easy to fall, but he's got to beat him from the inside out, and he's got to be first. He can't wait for Mayweather to out-jab him. He's got to use... Cotto's got a good jab, too. You ain't got the reach, but so what? He was able to hit Shane Mosley. Mosley's arms is longer. Mosley's an inch taller. He's got to use that jab, man. He can hit Floyd. He's got enough speed to do it. He's got to be first. He's got to use that jab, get to the inside, throw them hooks to the body. It's hard to uppercut Floyd. He's got a very good reflex, but that's what I'm saying. The main focus for this fight, I can imagine, in the training camp is working on them body shots to slow down Floyd. Who do I think's going to win this fight? One thing I want to address is people go into this fight saying that, well, Cotto doesn't even believe he can win. Man, that's bullshit. You're telling me a future Hall of Famer, a guy who's been champion in numerous divisions. Of course, Cotto made a statement saying that at this point it's not really about belts, it's about money first. It's a business for him. Of course, he's closer to the end of retirement, but that doesn't mean once he gets the fight that he wants and he's satisfied with the pay and everything that he's going to go out there and be some slouch. No, this guy's a fighter. He's going to fight. Cotto's a man I know of dignity and respect, and he's a good representation of the sport also. Another guy that defines boxing. Not as good as Mayweather, but he defines boxing and his work ethic as well. He's another guy. Mayweather ain't the only guy that's working hard in this sport. And Cotto is equally a hard worker, and he's worked for everything he's had. Okay, he might not be as skilled technically. Obviously, his defense is not as good as Floyd, but he's a very good fighter. He's a boxer / puncher, and his chances in this fight, if he fights according to the right game plan, I like Cotto's chances. I don't believe that Cotto thinks Mayweather is going to win. I believe Cotto believes in himself, and he thinks he's going to win this fight. It's being realistic, because this is a guessing game. That's all prediction is. It's a hypothesis. Excuse me. It's just an educated guess, man. I think this fight, Cotto will win at least 4 rounds out of this fight, surprising people, maybe even 5. I give him 4 rounds in this fight. I think he will win. I think he will go to the body, and he will slow down Floyd some. Floyd's legs ain't there. Like I said before, the one advantage that Cotto has, in my opinion, might be his greatest advantage throughout this whole fight, is having that leg strength. The being able to get from one spot to the other faster than Floyd can. Floyd can't really get to spots of the ring fast like he could anymore. And if you think I'm wrong, then please leave comments saying you've seen something different. Because the Floyd I seen in Mosley and Ortiz fight looked good, but it was clear to me that his legs weren't there no more. Not as fast as he was, and they didn't seem as stable. So, I think Floyd's going to win this fight by unanimous decision when it's all said and done. It's possible it can even be a stoppage, but I think it'll be a stoppage not on Cotto being hurt, just based on just too much blood, submission by blood. If you can make somebody tap out in boxing, you can make them tap out indirectly with bleeding, So I think it's just going to be too much blood. That's one way I can see it getting stopped late rounds, maybe 10, 11, 12. But I think Cotto will make it to the end. I think he will make it to the end. I think he will surprise some people and win 4 rounds out of this fight. I give him. I think he will. And Cotto's got a chance, man. He's got a puncher's chance. Cotto's got one of the best body shots we ever seen in the game. He's got to bring that body shot. That body attack has to be in this fight. He's got to beat him from the inside out. He's got to go to that body. He's got the guy's legs is already deteriorating. He's got to take away his legs completely to the point where Mayweather's more stationary for him, and he can just make this fight an inside slug out dog fight. You got to get a little physical with Mayweather too, but you can't get over physical with him, because you're going to eat up too many counters. You get physical with him, but then you back up. You reset, and then you go back to the inside. You can't just make it a dog fight all fight like Ricky Hatton did. Otherwise, he'll put your ass in check with maybe a check hook. You know what I mean? But you got to fight smart and intelligently and use your strengths. You know, that means getting physical with him at times. You know, that means pushing him up against the corner, wailing away at that body because it's hard to hit his head, so go to that body. Go to that body, and you can land them body shots, man. If he's got his arms in his way, fuck it. Bang at his shoulders and bang at his arms. Cotto's a heavy-handed motherfucker, man. Make that dude, you know, make his arms tired. Hit him. He's a man. He's not a machine. He's a man. You know, you're going to have to wear him down, but, I mean, if this fight's from the outside, Floyd smokes him. I think Cotto wins, you know, 4 rounds out of this fight. I think he shots a lot of people, but in the end, I see Floyd counter-punching the guy to death. And I see a lot of blood. And as the fight goes to the later rounds, especially, Floyd will get sharper and sharper, and he'll win by unanimous decision. But I give Cotto 4 rounds, and I'm looking for Cotto to even prove me and a lot of people wrong and win this fight. He's a fighter, and that's what fighters do. Just like he said on the face-off, a real fighter presents a real fight. So I'm looking forward to May 5th to seeing a real good fight. And I'm looking forward to seeing Floyd being dethroned because I always go for the underdog. Slideways 100, I'm out.